not very much in favor of the counting of points.
Does it work for you? No.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite figure skating podcast, The Runthrough, where we talk about all the things that make us kiss, make us cry, and make us lore. Yet again, lore horse number 6, 7. I don't know which number this is actually, but I'm not Olympic champion Sarah Hughes. I'll be your musical history host for the day. I'm here with Ashley Wagner, Adam Rippon, and our figure skating history host for the day, Michelle Ellis.
Wait,
Hi,
we already started with an argument.
We did? What was the
Yes.
argument? Oh, I remember. Michelle
Okay.
said that I'm in for a wild ride.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a threat.
That's
not an argument.
That's a promise. When it's Michelle, it's not a threat. It's a promise.
No, before we hit record, we were talking about.
Oh,
really,
well, okay, hold on.
Is this like the most winningest piece of music of all time?
Maybe. I think it
I mean,
will say
thousands of figure skating fans were just like, no.
Well,
and Adam doesn't know why.
I will say that this of the lore horses that I have done, this is the only piece that has a specific section on its Wikipedia page about its influence in figure skating.
Really?
Yes, so far.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay.
mean it's the only one, but this is the only one I have seen where it is specifically mentioned. And I will do it, we'll see if you guys agree with who gets mentioned on the Wikipedia page eventually. But
Okay.
the piece we're talking about today is Scheherazade. I have a question. Can anyone right now, you have 30 seconds max, spell Scheherazade
Yes.
out loud? Go.
SCCHEH.
Nope.
Shit. Sorry, I already messed it up.
REHZADE.
Because it's Scheherazade.
And what we just spelled was Nika Agadze.
EDA.
Yeah,
Adam.
Scheherazade. That's how I spell it out when I'm trying to type it.
Yes, Sarah.
You should check your audio settings. That's a little peek behind the curtain for everybody, but you should check yours. You don't sound right. Okay, so Scheherazade, I'm not totally sure if anyone spelled it completely right there, but let's go back. I take it as a challenge after Adam's Romeo and Juliet to see if I can go back further in history than he did, and I can.
Right, because we can't go further back than Sarah, than Ashley, because she went back 2,000 years.
That's true.
Sarah is actually the most competitive person on this podcast.
I don't think that's right.
I say that as a bad thing.
I don't think that's right. So
wait, who do you think is the most competitive?
Yeah, who do you think is the most competitive?
I think it's you, Ashley.
Well, I'm giving Sarah this title, so is that competitive of me? I don't.
It's competitive of you to not want
passive aggressive.
Yes, you're trying to pass it to me as a point of
rite of passage from one strong woman to another. Wait, before we even get into this, can I ask a question that Sarah and I came up with while I was visiting her in New York? Sarah, did you talk about this on the Patreon with Adam?
No.
Okay. Michelle, of the three of us, who is the most likely to not believe in global warming?
Oh, this is interesting.
It's a question for Michelle first.
Okay.
I want to know what she thinks.
Well, it's not Sarah.
Thank you.
Not looking good for me.
Also, just so you know, Michelle, we won't hold it against you.
No, I won't because she's
But
not
the
gonna
way
say
she's
me.
doing this, I'm afraid she thinks it's me. And if that's the case,
Why me?
oh, we both said it was you.
Why?
I do kind of think it might be you, Adam. But I do think you do believe in global warming.
I
But I feel
absolutely
like
do, but I
Ashley's
know,
way too on Twitter to like, you
Thank
know.
you. Thank
Yeah.
yeah.
Derogatory.
And I'm way too on Twitter in the bad way to go. But everybody's saying it's not happening. I
You're more
believe
I've heard
in it,
it's
by
not
the
real.
way.
It is real. Oh, okay. It's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're more whimsical. Like you can get swept away by an idea, and that's one of your better qualities. Like you were just
stopped
telling us
looking
about
at
how
us.
you were an OG truther of Nicolandria.
I mean,
It's
I
sort of-
am an OG truther.
It's
The
sort
thing
of like
is
when
that
Janet
Adam-
Jackson had all those weird beliefs about Kamala, and that people were like, "What?" And she was like, "Oh, am I wrong?" I mean,
Oh, people
she
don't
just
believe
lives in
this?
her own world. Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
and Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
I do feel like Adam is the most capable of living in a reality of his own making.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Where global warming doesn't exist.
That's here we are.
And Sasha
And
Cohen
there
is
we
the
go.
Olympic
Here we are.
champion.
And we're full circle on a flat earth.
Sarah
Global
and I
warming doesn't
did-
exist because Sasha won the 2006 Olympics, and then we corrected our behavior, and it has been reversed.
Oh,
We're
we're on
in
just on
the
an alternate timeline.
Alternate timeline.
Yes, thank
That
you.
makes sense.
Yeah,
And-
Ashley asked me this question, and I
What a bitch.
I started to look. The least competitive person here, Ashley, started to
Rank
ask me
things.
this question.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I sort of took a deep breath and looked at her, and she was like, "Don't you fucking say me."
Right.
Well,
No, but
also,
listen,
I don't know. And then
I
we
mean,
settled
I
on
asked
you.
this
Most
question
scams, I'm the
on the
one
most-
who falls for.
yeah. I mean, that might be what it's really coming
True.
from. But like, I asked this on one of the most sweltering days that I have ever experienced, and we were
Mhm.
trapped in the there was like a little air trolley. What are those things
It's
called?
a cable
Tram?
car. Yeah,
Cable
it's
car.
they call it a tram, but yeah.
Okay.
An air trolley.
Air trolley.
They have those in New York now?
Yeah, it's the one that goes to Roosevelt Island, Michelle. It goes over the river.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never done that one. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was great. Except the doors shut. And I started to kind of have a panic attack because I
Well-
was violently hungover and
And
I
there's
was
no
like,
AC.
it's too hot. We're
Yeah.
we're going
It
to
was
die.
hot. Yeah,
Every
and
once
there
in a
was
while
a
you get a
child
car with no
screaming.
AC.
There were children screaming.
Oh
in there
god.
as
Oh, I
well.
don't like that.
Yeah.
So when Sarah almost named me, I almost started a fight.
You almost started crying.
And then she said, "Well, why don't you think it's me? Why are you so certain it's not me?" And then we both just kind of go,
It's
Well,
Adam.
It's Adam.
"It's
Maybe
not
it's
you."
Adam.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? Like,
Well, that
I'll
settles
take
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway,
it
back
was a
to the
fun
spelling
aside.
of Scheherazade.
Yeah. So let's start where all great stories start, the 9th century,
Damn
mhm.
it.
which is the oldest written record of what would eventually be called 1001 Nights. And that is a collection of Middle Eastern folk tales that are written in Arabic. So these tales come from a whole variety of regions, the Middle East, all the way over to India, North Africa. There's tales from kind of all over the Arabic speaking region.
Mhm.
And so when it is eventually translated, though, into other languages many centuries after this, it becomes known in English as the Arabian Nights, which you have heard of, I assume.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
this is a collection of stories within a story. So the broader story is that it's about a king or a sultan, depending on the
On the
translation
region.
of it, who rules an empire that stretches from Persia to India. Again, these kind of vary in different versions, but that's roughly the region. And the king discovers that his wife is being unfaithful to him, and he has her
Shit.
executed.
Shit.
And he
Damn.
decides that all women are the same and cannot be trusted.
Okay, this is giving MAGA.
Well,
Listen, it's always been a problem.
Women.
Women.
And when I say that, I mean women.
And so he asks his vizier, which is a high-ranking advisor, to bring him a new wife every day. And every night he marries a virgin, and every morning he executes her and does it again the next day. Because he's decided that all women are traitors and this is what they deserve. Okay.
Where's the vizier finding these women?
Well, in the kingdom. And so he does this for long enough that the vizier eventually can't find any more virgins
No
for
shit.
him. There are no virgins left.
Oh my God. I would go lose my virginity so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As an insurance policy.
Yeah.
Get pregnant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Except one remaining virgin is the vizier's oldest daughter who volunteers to marry the king.
So she's unhappy.
So she volunteers to marry the king. And obviously the vizier does not want this, but he has to reluctantly agree to it because he has to keep bringing
he's running low on virgins
to the king. So on the night of their wedding, when he marries this daughter, the daughter tells the king a story. She starts telling him a story, but she leaves it unfinished at sunrise. And so the king postpones her execution because he wants to hear the end of the story. And thus begins a long and winding saga that she tells him night after night, with stories layered within stories, where she's telling a story about someone, and then within that story, this character is telling a story to somebody else, and it goes on and on and on for 1001 nights. And within the story that she's telling him, there's a king who begins as this vengeful ruler who, over the arc of the story, becomes more merciful. And this is what we call, say it with me, manifesting. Because the king, in the end, spares her life and chooses not to execute her like the other wives. Because the themes that she chooses for her stories are like themes of justice and revenge and mercy. And she kind of forces him to reflect on himself and his own actions without ever confronting him. Which is
more men need this.
This is what we call making them think it's their idea.
Yeah.
Always make them think it's their idea.
1000%.
What do they say in what I was thinking about in that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the woman goes, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And she can turn the man any way she wants.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's the story. And the woman's name telling this story, Scheherazade. So she is the brilliant woman who seems a little crazy when she volunteers, but in fact has like a master plan.
Right. She's like, I just like to gab. She's a girl who likes to gab.
She does. And she's consistently portrayed as being like very well read, very well educated, articulate, and tells these like very interwoven, like beautiful stories. And so anyway, 1001 Nights is published and translated in many forms over the centuries. It doesn't make its way into Western culture really until the early 1700s when it's translated in French. And the French translation version includes a couple of stories that were not actually in the original Arabic manuscript, including Aladdin's Lamp and Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, which become two of its most well-known works eventually, at least now.
Yeah, that's so
Where'd they come from?
So they came from, the French translator said that he heard these stories from a Syrian storyteller who was visiting Paris. So that's where he says he got them.
What a fabulous time.
Yeah. And so now most versions of 1001 Nights or the Arabian Nights include these additional stories from that Syrian storyteller that were in it in the early 1700s.
My mind when you were like, and it included 2 stories that weren't in the original. And because I'm like kind of thinking Disney adjacent, my mind was like Beauty and the Beast.
I hate to admit that I had to push that thought away from me. The Little Mermaid.
But Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is sort of the story of that's the story, the real story. So when you think of figure skaters portraying this music, like that is the origin story of the work. Okay. And so fast forward, this is 1704 is when that French translation comes out. Fast forward 140 years, 1844, Pisces season.
As they called it.
Well, he has the same birthday as my mom, so my immediate thought was like, a fellow Pisces.
Right. Okay.
And your mom is famously looking for virgin every night, every morning.
She hands him a martini first.
Yeah, good old Carrie.
If only. So Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov is born in Russia in 1844. Nikolai is born into a noble family. He takes music and piano lessons from a very young age, but he does not really feel as called to it as he feels to literature. And through his reading and through the tales, he has an older brother who's an explorer. He's like a navigator and an explorer.
Wait, this is so cool.
And so Nikolai develops this like deep love of the sea before he ever goes to sea. And so when he's 12 years old, he joins the Russian Imperial Navy. He's not really in the Navy at 12. He can't serve at age 12, but he goes into a school that the Navy runs of navigational sciences from age 12 to 18. And during these 6 years at school, he takes a lot more music lessons and falls more in love with music and composition. So he falls in love with composition. He has these like great mentors at the navigational sciences school, but then he does eventually have to go to sea as a member of the Navy.
Right,
and he sails like all over the world almost as part of his like military service. He goes to London, like he goes to Niagara Falls. He goes as far as Rio de Janeiro.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
At sea. That's crazy.
Boats are slow too. That took a long time.
Yeah, that's a long ways away.
He's at sea for almost 3 years on one journey. Whoa. And during that time,
sounds like hell, by the way.
Yeah, out of love with music because he kind of forgets about it. He's not like
not hearing it.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. So he kind of loses his love for composition, nurtures his love of the sea. The reason I mentioned like the love of the sea is because the sea is like a consistent theme in Scheherazade, and a lot of the composition uses he has a specific kind of like sea theme within Scheherazade. So
I did not realize that.
Yeah. And so anyway, he comes back from this 3-year journey. And he has a mentor who really encourages him to get back into music and back into composition. And this takes this time. And so when he's 27, he becomes a professor of composition and instrumentation in St. Petersburg. And he remains in the Navy and becomes the Navy's inspector of naval bands. So he travels around visiting different bands that are part of the Navy and listening to their music and reviewing it and inspecting their instruments and composing works for them.
Wait, so he's Joe Inman. Is that his name? Yes.
That is Joe Inman, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Sarah,
know who
Joe Inman was a skating judge. He was just honored at
this last national championships.
Yeah, he was just inducted into the Hall of Fame with Raphael at the same time.
Okay.
And he was heavily into music, and he was a tough ass judge.
Yeah,
but he was very smart, and
he did this for the military.
I think he did.
I think he might have done it for the naval band.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I believe that. I'm sure they still have this position. I mean, this was in Russia, obviously, but I would believe that the US would have it too.
No, he was in the Russian one. No.
Yeah.
He also gave Johnny Weir a 3.25 for transitions, I think at Nationals one year. So, yeah.
It was like in the very...
Johnny's never forgotten it.
No, I haven't either. It was
Michelle.
drama. No.
Well, it was in the very beginning of the new system. And so he was judging, like, he was like, Johnny's performance was like, this is back in the day where it was like nobody was in the 9s and 10s.
Yeah.
So Johnny was like, 8 for performance, 3.25 for transitions. And then and he had this scores like, kind of how it should be.
Yeah. This was when the system was used as God intended.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Shit. Fight.
I don't think global warming is real.
That's gonna get clipped out of context.
Yeah.
We're all gonna be in trouble.
What else is new?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so so he travels around like inspecting bands, and he's also teaching at the conservatory, the musical conservatory in St. Petersburg, while also obviously composing his own works. And so he has a few different eras in his musical composition life. He has an era where he's like more in with the like traditional composing crowd, and there's a group of composers called the Five that he's part of. This is like the earlier part of his adult career, and then slowly that sort of like starts to trend out a little bit, like their style of composition, and he becomes friends with Tchaikovsky, who is sort of trending in. And he expresses like having kind of complicated feelings about Tchaikovsky because he's friendly with him, but he like feels like Tchaikovsky was really critical of some of the work that he had done with the Five and that his friends in the Five had done. And that, just so he kind of has this like complicated relationship with
this was a
Tchaikovsky.
High musical drama time. The Five, like the Jackson Five, but it's classical music.
Yeah, they weren't doing it together, but they kind of were all like they would collaborate here and there, and they would influence each other, and they were just kind of like the big five of the time.
The Fab Five. They were the Fab Five.
Exactly.
We need an HBO miniseries.
Yeah,
we can produce it because we know everything there is to know.
Yes,
exactly. So anyway, over the course of his career, Rimsky-Korsakov was specifically very skilled and interested in what in orchestration is called programmatic work, which essentially just means works that tell a story through orchestration. So that are like, he's very like into storytelling. And he gets, and he's influenced by one of his late composer friends who did Prince Igor. Which you've probably heard of. And actually his friend died while in the middle of doing Prince Igor, and Rimsky-Korsakov finishes it for him.
Okay.
And this inspires him to do his own. And his own is a piece based on the story of 1001 Nights. And he calls it Scheherazade.
The first go at a procedural piece?
No.
Oh, okay.
But this is he's inspired to do a few, and this is one of them.
Okay.
So, but he writes Scheherazade over the course of 2 months.
That's fast.
Yeah. And Scheherazade is about 50 minutes long. I mean, depending on tempo and stuff, but it's about 50 minutes long. It's 4 movements that form an overall unified theme, but each of the 4 movements tells an individual story that is taken from either one of the stories within Arabian Nights or a combination of them.
Can I ask a silly question?
I'm sure it's not silly.
I feel like I should know this, but I don't. Is Scheherazade written to just be something that's like an orchestra and an audience is sitting and watching an orchestra? Or is there also like a performance on stage in tandem with this?
It's originally written just as an orchestra. So the original work is just an orchestration. Eventually, it's adapted into a ballet in the early 1900s. But
I didn't know that.
He writes this in the 1880s, and it's just a piece of music. And then in 1910, which I'll get to, but in 1910, there is like a back interpretation that is adapted. So yeah, but and I will say, like, I listened to Scheherazade, like all 4 movements together on the treadmill yesterday, and it is incredible. I mean, it is like really, I mean, obviously we've all heard it in snippets, right? Like in these
Yes.
4-minute, 3-minute snippets, but it is really, it's exciting. It's really varied. It has so like, it's really good at bringing its sort of different musical themes back in at the end to kind of bring the story all together. It's really good. It's really good. So anyway, so there's 4 stories, quote unquote, that are all doing a unified theme. The 4 movements have 4 thematic names, which is sort of unusual, because a lot of times compositions at this time were, you know, it would be like, this one is called Ballade, and this one's called Adagio, and this one's called, and he instead gave them 4 thematic names. So the first movement is called The Sea and Sinbad's Ship. So again, like the themes of the sea being part of this. Then the second movement is called The Story of the Colander Prince. And that one is supposedly kind of a combination of 3 different stories within the book, because there are 3 different Colander princes who have stories in the book. And then the third one is The Young Prince and the Young Princess. And then the fourth movement is called Festival at Baghdad. The sea ship breaks upon a cliff surmounted by a bronze horseman. I think.
Okay, that one got a bit longer.
That one.
Yeah, it got a bit wordy.
Yeah, the version that I listened to, that was the Berlin Philharmonic, they just called this one Festival at Baghdad, the sea shipwreck. So anyway,
leave it to the Germans to be like, cut the nonsense.
Yeah, let's not
edit.
Trim the fat.
Yeah, and their version is very, very good. I recommend it. But so in within this work, the sea has sort of its own theme. The Sultan has its own. So in part of his influence here is that the Sultan has his own theme that is sort of more in the traditional Russian sound. And then Scheherazade has her own theme that's a bit more of what they called an Oriental sound at the time. And so he kind of blends these together. He uses kind of a call and response between the brass and the wind sections to like create sort of tension between them. And then in the final movement, eventually there is sort of a peaceful resolution that reflects the resolution within the real story, that, you know, he pardons her and all of that. But like, you know, it's very, very, very interesting to listen to.
I love that.
Yeah, I really encourage just like a listen to it, because I also kind of love listening to classical music and like doing normal tasks, because it feels like you like watching someone on the street, and it feels like everything has a different mood.
Yes.
Listening to classical music.
And you're
like
better
putting
than everybody else
on your life, kind of. Yeah, and you're better than everybody else, which is
I love to
important
listen
me
to
as well.
classical music in the house, because I'm like, nobody has more money than me right now in this moment.
Exactly.
And you actually heavily influenced me. And now when I put on classical music, I'm like, not only am I helping build my baby's brain, but I'm Adam Rippon.
I'm padding my wallet, theoretically.
Theoretically.
Getting richer with every section of this.
One thing JP does is we always have jazz music playing in the house. And I'm like,
it's too stressful.
I live in Paris.
Yes.
Like,
well, there's jazz music that is relaxing, Ashley, I feel like.
Yeah, I have not found a jazz I connect with, I'll be honest. I think
I
my
like to
anxiety
turn
levels
on-
are too high for jazz.
I like to turn on those like AI scenes, like scenery things on YouTube that
I
just
like
playing
that, yeah.
jazz. That's the only use of AI that I really employ in my normal life.
yeah, that you find ethical.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
The
just
ethical
like
AI.
It's just Paris at sunset, or like Lake Como, and there's like cool, relaxing jazz playing.
It was
I love
actually,
that.
you had it playing when I was at your house and I was editing
Oh yeah,
like something
I
for
play it a lot
YouTube.
when I'm working.
It was
Because
nice.
I don't like being in complete silence. So it's nice just to have something kind of going in the background.
Like Scheherazade.
But yeah, so I mean that is basically the orchestral piece. It debuts in 1888. And then to Ashley's question and to Michelle's delight, it is adapted into ballet, into a ballet that premieres in Paris in 1910. And this is known as kind of a groundbreaking ballet in some ways because it's the Ballet Russe does it, but it is not as traditional as most of their ballets. They do a lot more like sensual, sultry movements, and it's a lot more interpretive and less technique focused on like traditional ballet technique. And so that becomes sort of something that is influential as ballet evolves in the early 20th century. So that's the ballet. And the costuming in the ballet I think has some influence in the costuming we ultimately see in figure skating.
Oh my God. I'm
Yes.
so sorry. It's like so hard to tell, but stunning.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send this to you for the Instagram.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's the Ballet Russe. Like the premiere of this was in Paris because it was believed that the conservative theaters in Russia would not approve of the portrayal of this sort of like risque story.
Yeah.
Because in the way that they portray it, at the beginning, a woman is being seduced by the bald man that you were just showing. And so it's anyway, but it is believed and widely credited with inspiring and influencing ballet for many years and fashion for many years. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
so it's very very successful. It has been interpreted and adapted in other more modern ballets, but the original is obviously the most recognized. And then I do want to say what I saw in the Wikipedia page about figure skating. It says Scheherazade is a popular music choice for competitive figure skating. Various cuts, mainly from the first movement, were widely used by skaters, including. This is a bulleted list. Midori Ito during the 1989-90 season, Michelle Kwan during the 2001-02 season for her free skate, where she won the bronze medal at the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City and silver at the 2002 World Figure Skating Championships in Nagano, Japan.
Now I know what Michelle is talking about.
Yuna Kim during the 2008-09 season to win her world championship gold. Mao Asada during 2011-12. Carolina Costner during 2013-14. Wakaba Higuchi during 2016-17.
Oh, thank God.
That's the end of the bulleted list. And then there's an additional graph where someone must have come in and been like, we need an edit here. And it says American figure skater Evan Lysacek used Scheherazade in his free skate and won the gold medal at the 2010 Winter Olympics in
I feel
Vancouver.
like they're missing the biggest
It was
one.
also used by American ice dancers Charlie White and Meryl Davis, wrong order.
Yeah.
In their free dance, which they won the gold medal at the 2014 Winter Olympics. Thus
do a little wiki edit.
Yeah, it definitely gives like that these were not on the original list, even though Wakaba Higuchi is on it.
I think that's
she should
so
be
funny, and she should be. Keep her there.
So I hopefully that didn't steal too much of Michelle's thunder, because I know she's going to give us a little more on this. But that's how we ended up in a debate, as Ashley referenced before we started recording, of is this one of the winningest war horses? It's got to be one of the winningest war horses. Maybe not the.
Yeah, I mean,
certainly.
it's got at least 2 Olympic gold medals and then some other like Olympic champion or Olympic medalist
some world
adjacent
medals.
performances. Yeah.
We are due for like a really good Scheherazade.
We are. My list ends.
There's no one doing it this season
with Wakaba, and then I have one gala that's after that. But like, yeah,
But
we need.
Nobody's done it in like 2 Olympic cycles, not like prominently.
Yeah,
somebody did it as a gala.
Well, it's not. Well, there's a couple galas in here actually, but yeah, no, this was a big skating show basically. Not a gala, big skating show.
I do think, just having listened to the whole thing, this is incredibly rich music for a program. It is. I mean, there's so many movements with different options for the tone that like you can vary it up.
Yeah.
I will say, watching all of these performances, a lot of times people get left behind by the music. They can't really skate up to it.
Yeah.
So be careful if you're.
Yeah. Tread carefully.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start with skater Sarah didn't mention, and that is Linda Fradiani.
It's not me. It's the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
It's Wiki.
Okay. It's Wiki. Linda Fradiani, future 1980 Olympic silver medalist, 2-time world champion. She had, at 15 years old, a Scheherazade free skate in the 1976 Olympic season. And she skated it at nationals, where she was second. She was finished 8th at the Olympics, and she finished 5th at Worlds, all with this program. And she landed 2 triple jumps in her U.S. Championships free skate. And that was like the first time ever like a woman had done that. 2 triple jumps in a program. Unbelievable. Toe and sow. And this, I talked about in the Firebird lore, how Linda Fradiani was known for her costuming and her innovative like fashion on the ice. This dress was a moment. And I'd love to know, like, who designed this for her? Where did this come from? I mean, this was gorgeous. It was orange, and it had like a deep V in the front, and had like a pink border on it. And then it had this really interesting like swirls made of sequins, like orange. So like orange sequins on an orange dress with like swirls on it. It was cool. And then had this feathery skirt. She had great opening choreography in this program. I noticed with Linda, like her opening movements were always very simple but commanding, and they really like drew you into the program. Like she knew how to open a program, and she had this just like lovely presence on the ice, this beautiful upright posture, and just like this very simple elegance in her positions, and her movements were just very smooth and clear. And it's kind of a cool interpretation of this. Like she does a bunch of really interesting like footwork sections and jump entrances. I noticed she did the kind of forward and backward toe hops into her double flip that we would see from another Frank Carroll student 40 years later, Gracie Gold. But it was kind of innovative. And at her World's Free Skate, she did really nice triple sow, nice triple toe, big open single axle, and she had huge double axles. Like, I wonder if she ever worked on a triple. She had the height. Maybe at the time, like, you're not even doing the other triple jumps. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. But this really like interesting choreography, like change spread eagle at a very quiet part of the music. Just like, I think she went inside to outside. Beautiful. It was great. It was a great skate. And this is the earliest Scheherazade I found. And it was one of my favorites that I watched. It was awesome. And she was a baby. She was 15. And then you saw a very young Frank Carroll in the Kiss and Cry with her. Yeah. So the next one I want to talk about happened actually before this one. It also happened in 1976. And vintage skating fans, people who've been watching skating since the 70s, I think they would call this the definitive Scheherazade performance. And it was a gala. And it was the gala performance in 1976 by the Olympic champion, John Curry.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. John Curry was a British skater, and he was known for combining technical ability with exquisite body lines. Like, there's him, there's Sasha Cohen, and there's everybody else. These positions he hit were out of this world. I mean, he was like carved out of stone. Beautiful. And so he did a gala program to Scheherazade. He was so into like classical music and these characters and performances. And this was like one of his signature professional programs. And watching this is crazy. Like, you're invested in the character from this opening movements. And I presume he's portraying the Sultan, the king. He has this like dark coldness to his face. Right as the music starts, he kind of like looks to the side and he's got this like very scary Sultan energy, like, you know, the viciousness. And then like he brings the warmth in as he skates the program. Every movement in this program could be a picture. It's glorious. The spin positions are glorious. The body line is incredible. He did these upright spins where he would like halfway bend his knee and make these really cool shapes. He did this series of back crossovers with his arms moving up and down in a way that was really effective, like really connecting to the music, into this like long spread eagle. And his straight line footwork in this is really interesting to watch because he carries so much flow through it, but it's clear that the flow is not coming from the steps he's doing. The steps are sort of accenting the flow that he has. And I feel like today, when you watch skaters, their momentum comes from each turn they're making in their steps, probably because they're so difficult. But with this, it's like he is flying and he's just doing steps in addition to the flying. It's just the momentum is not driven from the front. It's like coming from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just the way he like turns and like brings his arm up and like, and just his just little tiny movements are so commanding. And I wrote down a quote from our favorite commentator, Dick Button. He said, "Look at the velvet quality here. Without a doubt, the finest all-around skater I think I've ever seen. Lines, musical interpretation, choreography, athletic ability, triple jumps, an extraordinary performer."
High praise.
Yeah. This is a very cool gala performance.
I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I keep on only finding a picture of him in what looks like blue pants and a bedazzled like suspender outfit, but he's shirtless underneath. That can't be right.
No, he wore just like brown pants and like a white billowy shirt. The costume was very simple. It was very much
I see it.
Yeah, you're just sort of like looking at his body lines and his head movements. Yeah,
he was unbelievable.
Yeah. Superhuman. He's like a ballet dancer. Okay, so 1984, American ice dance team who never made it into the dance floor. You know, shame on me, but I'm going to talk about them now. Judy Blumberg and Michael Siebert.
Oh,
yeah. They were a very successful American ice dance team, 4-time U.S. champions going into this Olympics, 2-time world bronze medalists. And they were known for their very beautiful, clean matching edges. So in dance at the time, like we're looking at a lot of like kind of quick movements, ballroom style movements. And then you have Torvill and Dean doing their own very innovative thing. But it was very different from what everyone else was doing. And Blumberg and Siebert were trying to very much be in the Torvill and Dean lane. Like, we are going to be innovative. And so they had this like, their skating had this just a lot of flow, a lot of cleanliness to it, and sort of holding edges. And they decided to do a free dance for the season that was one cohesive story, one piece of music, and it was Scheherazade. And this was very innovative because you had people doing lots of different rhythms kind of chopped up and more ballroom style, less sort of ballet dramatic. And they Blumberg and Siebert went to Georgina Parkinson for choreography. And this is not a skater. She is a ballet dancer. She is a principal dancer with the Royal Ballet and an English ballerina. And they had this very cool program that was very balletic and it sort of told a story like the ballet. And this program is just really, really good. And they had like a rough season coming into this Olympics. Michael had mononucleosis, then he had a groin injury. But they look good when they are competing in Sarajevo. And they're in third going into the free dance. They were third in the first compulsory dance. There was only one. Third in the original set pattern. They're in third. And they're the 2-time world bronze medalists. So they should get the bronze medal, right? Wrong. We're at the Olympics.
Of course, that was wrong.
Yeah. But you'll see who takes it away from them. So this program, this program had this like long kind of predatory and dramatic buildup, and it kind of led to this big climax at the end, which you'll see becomes a very common thing in these Scheherazade programs. They skated this really well. They had all these very kind of innovative movements, just interesting like moments where they would sort of like, there was one where he sort of like spun her around. She was sort of like just bent forward facing him, and he kind of circled her around the outside around. So I'm not describing it very well. And then they had a cool movement at the end where she was completely wrapped around his body backwards, and then she fell of her own control down the length of his body. And he was a very tall guy. He's arms free. That's how they ended the program. And they ended the program moving with her sliding down his body. The team, they had like beautiful like free leg extensions. They had this really effortless like stretch and lightness to their movements. And it's interesting in Scheherazade because there's this like smoothness and calmness to their movement and like patience that allows them to sort of like express to the music as they're performing. And again, this was very unique because it was built around one theme and one piece of music. And Torvill and Dean did something similar in this Olympics. They did Bolero, and that was very well received. Loved. One thing I didn't mention, I'll go back to Bolero really quickly, and everyone was mad at me, is that the reason Torvill and Dean did so many movements in Bolero when they're on their knees is because they couldn't cut the music down short enough. Anyway, sorry to the world, but anyway, that's that.
The world, everyone on Twitter who is upset.
I'm glad that you finally apologized to the world.
I got it out.
But Blumberg and Siebert, they had this, it was similar to Bolero in that it was like one piece, one cohesive theme, and they were skating in character throughout the theme, the program, and they were not, we're doing this rhythm and this rhythm, no, like this. The top two Soviet teams at this competition, which is funny because you have the Americans doing Russian music. The Soviet teams were doing more Western, like ballroom oriented material. Natalia Bestemianova and Andrei Bukin had a polka and folk themed program. And Marina Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko had a collection of different rhythms. It had like a waltz, foxtrot, just these classical, like upright ballroom pieces. And so Blumberg and Siebert, they said going into the Olympics, they were aiming for the silver medal and bronze if they had a bad night, which is what Michael Siebert said. And they ended up missing the podium entirely. They received a 5.5 for technical merit from the judge Chia Bordogna of Italy. And she said afterward that Scheherazade was not proper ice dancing music.
Oh, okay. I mean,
she said, unfortunately, they chose music which didn't conform to the rules of dance. The music must also be able to be danced to on Earth. I approve of the couple technically. Technically, they were at a very high level. Well, the skating was really almost perfect.
On Earth?
Yeah, I know. On Earth,
what does that really mean?
Social dances, I guess.
But like literally Torvill and Dean, dance. She's dancing for her life.
I know. Were Torvill and Dean doing a social dance? They weren't. But they were like
he was
held
throwing
to a
her
different
into a volcano or something.
As one does on the dance floor.
As one does on the dance floor.
Yeah. And it's just ironic because we have the American team skating to Russian music and the two Soviet teams skating to like Western, like jazzier kind of music.
Like just say you don't like them.
I know. Well, Torvill and I'm describing the situation. I do like one of them very much. So I will get to that.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying
she doesn't
the judge to say about
okay. You, Michelle.
No question my allegiance.
Yeah.
Michelle's like, no, I like one of them. Not both. No, but I like one.
We know which one you like.
Okay, yeah. So this same Italian judge, she gave Klimova and Ponomarenko, who would end up winning the bronze medal, a 5.7 for technical merit. So they got 0.2 of a point higher than Blumberg and Siebert. I will say about Klimova and Ponomarenko, so this is kind of set up as this like scandal, like that this young Russian team stole this from Blumberg Siebert. They were held up. But I thought that this team was very unique. Klimova and Ponomarenko, they were very unique in their style, that even though they were doing a traditional like ballroom oriented free dance, They were very unique, and they'd had like, rather than quick steps, they had these long drawn out movements, long edges, very balletic positions. And Marina Klimova was only 17. She was very, very expressive. This free dance was beautiful, the Klimova and Ponomarenko one. Dick Button described Klimova as having Soviet enthusiasm. And
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
So
Okay.
the podium in the end was Torvill Dean, Besmianova Bukin, Klimova Ponomarenko, and then Blumberg and Siebert were fourth. And they were very, very upset about this. And they really leaned into a block judging narrative to explain them missing the podium.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah. And, I watched all of these performances, and I really feel like the free dance was judged incorrectly. But I think that I would have had, surprise to no one, I would have had Klimova and Ponomarenko in second, Blumberg, Siebert third, and Besmianova Bukin fourth.
No one.
Yeah.
I mean, I really love some of Besmianova Bukin's later material. This free dance was like not great. It reminded me of that Tarasova Morozov Candyman program. I was like, what's going on?
Oof. That was a dark time in our history.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the silver, and they had mistakes in their program too, and they got the silver medal. So I can kind of see where you're like, that's a little blocky. That's a little bit. That's a little. You have them in line, and you're giving them blocky. This. Yeah. Blumberg and Siebert went to Worlds after this, and all the top 4 teams all went to Worlds, and they did beat Klimova and Ponomarenko at Worlds and win another world bronze medal.
A trade-off.
They retired. Yeah, but I hadn't really watched Blumberg and Siebert in a long time, and they were so freaking good. They were just, their edge quality was beautiful, especially in a time when you didn't see a ton of that. It was very, I think, innovative in that way.
I can say definitively I have never seen them skate. I'm excited to watch.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I want to listen to Scheherazade like 20 times over. Like, I can't wait to watch all these programs.
You're going to. You're in luck.
I feel like though they get to the point where everyone's using the same edit of the music over and over again, and it gets repetitive. And I feel like that's Anyway, okay. Let's go to 1990 World Championships. Midori Ito, Japanese women's skater, the biggest jumper of all time. Insane. And before you say, what about Sasha Trusova? No one has ever gotten to the height that Midori has reached in her triple axel. No one. Maybe Ilya
out of a rink
and his
yet?
quad axel. That would be the next year at Worlds. But yeah, that video is crazy because at 91 Worlds, Midori Ito had a really violent crash with Laetitia Hubert in warm-up and was like, the wind knocked out of her. She was just like, and then she went to skate her program, and she does triple lutz double toe, and the double toe lands, and she falls immediately into the camera pit and like is in the camera pit.
Isn't it right after? Doesn't Sandra say like right before she jumps, she's like, watch her fly?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Out of the ring.
Yeah. But so Midori Ito in 1990, so she basically, they finally allowed Midori Ito to win Worlds in 1989. Finally, because she was really weak in compulsory figures. But at this time, figures are getting less and less of a value in the overall score. And 1990 would be the last year with figures. And they knew after this Worlds, figures are going away. But Midori Ito was still 10th in the compulsory figures here. And she won the short program, and she was 4th going into the free skate. This free skate is out of this world. So Scheherazade, she's in a black dress with these it's like got these kind of wings on the shoulders and then sleeveless. And it's got these really thick silver and gold kind of beading in swirls. Midori Ito's costumes were iconic. Like they're almost like Barbie skating costumes in that like you see the picture of them and you're like, that's it. It's like an image that stays in your mind as distinctively hers forever. It's just very unique. She has this incredible permed bang. Just very 1990. Awesome.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's a wall.
No, her jumps were big. Her hair was bigger.
Yeah.
So here's her program. Okay. Triple Lutz. Huge. biggest triple axel you've ever seen in your life. Clean. Almost hit the boards. And this was a recurring issue with Midori Ito, is that she trained on an Olympic-sized rink in Japan. And then she would go to competitions that had NHL-sized rinks, and she like could not stay in the boards. Like it was so
That's like Gracie.
difficult for her.
Gracie was always hitting the boards.
True.
Training on Olympic ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this competition was in Halifax, and they said the Halifax rink had been giving her trouble all week. She did do a double sow cow, one mistake. Then she did a spread eagle into this huge triple loop. Deep in the second half of the program, triple toe, double axel, and then signature ends on a super fast scratch spin. And this won the segment, of course, but it was only good enough for second overall because figures.
Boo.
Yeah, boo figures.
Yeah. And so Midori had been criticized a lot for her like kind of lack of artistry and focus on jumps, and she'd been working on that a lot. And this program demonstrated really improved artistry and improved musical nuances. And you can really tell that she's listening to the music and performing to it. And that she really worked with a choreographer on the phrasing and movement of like each little transition and movement in the program. Like it's visible, you can see it. And I don't think she gets enough credit for that. It was great. She's still very bouncy in her crossovers, but and so she does this incredible program with this huge triple axel. She gets 3 6.0s for technical elements. The rest are 5.9. And then her performance scores are higher. They're 5.9 to 5.7 to 5.9 for artistic impression. So won the free skate and was second overall behind Jill Trenery. And after the season, figures were eliminated. And Midori Ito said at this competition, she said, in training, I spend about 2/3 of my time on the figures. So I will miss them as part of my life, but I will not miss them in the actual event.
Yeah.
2/3, and to be that technically talented is crazy.
It's crazy.
Also, at a certain point, I'd be like, it's not working.
And still be losing competitions because of that segment.
I mean, figures are hard.
Yeah.
I bet I would have loved doing them.
I know you would have.
Yeah.
I only did them for a little bit.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, I only did them for a little bit, and they're okay. I didn't hate them the way other people did, but I was also happy when I didn't have to do them anymore.
They're fun to go do in this chapter and be like, whoa, what is this like? But if I had to do it regularly, I'd quit the sport.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be wearing my glasses. I'd be wearing I love
fur.
the videos of some of the. I'd be wearing a fur. I'd be smoking a cigarette. I'd be like, I'd be having
martini in the other
fucking
hand.
time.
Yeah.
I'd be ashing on my loops.
Mhm.
Oops.
Yeah. You'd be walking around in your shoes on the ice looking at people's patterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
God,
Shuffling around like
be,
Mr. Nix in his Ugg boots.
Yeah, to be like a figures coach, just like taking your little like maid duster, being like, wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a time.
Yeah. The like Philadelphia Humane Society rink still has like the scribes in the adult locker room, and I love seeing that. I mean, because they use it too. They like have figures sessions, but it's fabulous.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I was like right before the point that like we might have needed to acquire one, and then they got rid of it. I was like, I don't buy. But like people had their own scribes at my rink, and they would bring it. Yeah. People find that in your closet now. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I know. It's like a torture device.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Okay. Scott Hamilton said about Midori Ito, it will be 50 years before we see another skater like Midori Ito. And I want to say, I feel like 30 years later, we saw some pretty extraordinary women's jumping that we never expected to see. I don't know that I would quite say it's Midori Ito level, because as incredible as like the quad jumping girls are, I don't think anyone has overall their height and their power and their jumps that Midori Ito had. I think they utilize like quick rotation and timing.
They're doing it different.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
it was
explosiveness she had was unreal.
Technique has just changed so much.
It's so raw because it was like we had not. I mean, we still haven't seen, because I mean, I feel like in the 80s and 90s, it was still a little bit of like, all right, like alley oop, of like just doing like what you can, and it was like raw. Like this woman was meant to be in the air.
But also, like, I feel like that generation of athletes, like if you were a big, powerful jumper, you looked powerful, you looked strong. It was like a completely different body than like the willowy, tiny, tiny, tiny athletes that we see now that have bodies that are made to be quick and not explosive. Like to be explosive, you
Totally.
just do need muscles.
It was I mean, look at the best jumpers of that era were Tanya Harding. She was like, she was a strong woman.
Yeah.
And a convicted felon.
Which is strong.
You have to be strong.
A sign of strength.
Well, we currently have a felon running our country. I would say he's strong.
Yeah,
depends on the
that
felon.
is true. It depends on the felony.
Yes. Attempted murder.
Yeah. Inside trading. But we need someone convicted of like conspiracy to assault, conspiracy to. I think she was. Yeah, it's that she didn't get the attempted murder charge, but they thought about it allegedly.
Right? Did they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then allegedly Tanya was like upset that Nancy wasn't more hurt after the attack.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Genius.
It's
so funny. It's so crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like we went through all of this and you didn't even do a good enough job.
Literally.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Forever infuriating too, because all Tanya needed to do was like train and stop being a train wreck off the ice, and she could have beaten all these people.
I know.
That's the issue. Yeah. A little bit of introspective thinking would have solved a lot of problems.
Just a little less, like just a little more training.
Yeah.
Actual
training.
training.
Less smoking.
Or at least smoking the light cigarettes. I mean, change something.
She was fully committing to the wrong thing, and that was the type of cigarette she was smoking. Instead of her training.
Thicker filters.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to another I wouldn't say train wreck, but tragedy. And this is the 2002 Olympic season, and a skater named Michelle Kwan is skating a program to Scheherazade, and it is choreographed by Sarah Kawahara. And
does Sarah not choreograph much anymore? I love her choreography.
I think she's so involved in like
her daughter being famous now.
Yeah.
She's like famous now.
TV.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. I know. Well, send somebody to her. That would be nice. Anyway, so Michelle had this program to Scheherazade, and Michelle had a very difficult season. And she split from her coach, Frank Carroll, mid-season. She was without a coach. She was going to have her dad with her at the boards at the Olympics. And this program, on paper,
I'm laughing at Adam shaking his head angrily.
No, it's I was infuriated when this happened to me as a child, and this happened to me. I just want that to be known. It happened specifically to me, and I was furious. I knew it was a bad idea then, and I know in hindsight it was an even worse idea.
It was worse than you thought.
It was absolutely worse than I thought.
You never know when a skating parent will strike and
you never
ruin
know,
your Olympics.
Like, why?
You really never know.
So
and they're always trying. They're always trying.
Why pay for the lessons at all if at the very end you're going to go, no, I got this? What? Why?
Yeah. So Michelle Kwan had a pretty sparkling quad. I mean, she had a few little ups and downs here, but she was by far and away considered like the best skater in the world in this quad after she had lost to Tara Lipinski in Nagano. And it was very much like home Olympics, Salt Lake City, United States. You're the star. This is the one you're going to win. And you're going to have this huge moment at home in the US. And on paper, Scheherazade should be a really good vehicle for her. It has that really like kind of
For anyone not watching, Adam has had his hand clutched
Covering
over
his
face.
face.
Yeah.
He's taken his glasses off.
Yeah. He's in mourning.
The way you're describing it is making me want to buy a gun.
Yeah. Well, this should have been a really triumphant program for her. It seems like it fits her. You know, it kind of has this like Middle Eastern flavor that she had done in the past really well and effectively. And Michelle had a really unique way of moving her upper body and using her face that was very evocative. And we talked about her using this in The Feeling Begins, which was also a sort of Middle Eastern themed piece that to great success and great effect. But there was something about the vibes of the season, the feeling, the way that she was feeling, the dark energy radiating from Danny Kwan at the boards, that just it didn't come together. And so when we get to the 2002 Olympics, Michelle has won the short program. She's won the short program. She's going out to do the free skate. And Sandra Bezic says Michelle's goal here is to be free. And I feel like that says a lot about how she was feeling, because she said that
Not free
to the press. She felt like she wasn't free. She felt the weight of what was expected of her and what everyone wanted her to do.
I think that she was trying to do some Tara Lipinski cosplaying. It was like, that's what worked for Tara, and she was carefree. I will be carefree.
Yeah, my one was never carefree.
Tom Hammond introduces this. He says, skating to Scheherazade, a lady whose storytelling staves off her execution.
Yeah, that's the story of Scheherazade.
And I feel like Michelle's skating is staving off her execution. She's trying to survive and isn't entirely successful. So from the opening, like, I feel like I've watched Michelle Kwan like most of my life. Every time I watch this program, I can't believe how tight and nervous she is and how she's not herself. She always opened with her triple loop because it was her least favorite jump, and she would finish it and be like, yeah, now I get to skate the rest of the program. Not here. It's so tight, and she's so slow in her crossovers. Like, you can feel like she isn't projecting or performing. She's got it like a clenched fist. Triple toe, double toe was a plan. Triple toe, double axel. Yeah.
Don't
Double
forget
axel.
that.
Yeah. Triple flip, very under rotated, puts her hand down. And it's a big hand down.
This gasp. It was because they would have still given it to her, Michelle. Ellis. They still would have given it to her if she just stood up on the flip. But it was like all the oxygen in the entire state of Utah left.
And there's not that much there to begin with.
It's a good
point. My point.
Yeah. I mean, and she is skating so slow. She does a triple sow. She does then a nice triple Lutz. And I felt after this, she picked up after this mistake. And she's finished the program strong. And I almost feel like this is kind of similar to what we saw from Sasha in the next Olympics. When you sort of had lost hope, you were able to relax and rally.
Well, yeah, because now you're like, well, I have nothing to lose. I've already kind of screwed myself over. I might as well skate.
At the very end of this piece, there's this furious charge of music at the end. And as it picks up, I can see that she's not skating to it. Like, I can see that she is not doing that because you know what she can do. You know, she does a nice triple toe at the end. And then
she performed this at nationals, I assume. Like, was it previously
horrible.
more
She'd
successful at any point?
All season she had been bad, and nationals was the one time she skated it clean, because everybody was like, Michelle's a mess, she's not going to do anything, like it's not going well. And at nationals she finally skated like a clean long program, and everyone was like, we were wrong, she's here, she's back, she's making she made the right decision for herself.
Well, yeah. Kwan. I mean, I feel like it would be more unusual for Michelle Kwan to not skate well at nationals than it would be for her to melt down at the Olympics. I mean, she is the queen of the nationals. I feel like that audience would push her through anything.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Do you think Danny probably would not be allowed to be at the boards now? Because I'm not entirely sure, but there are a lot of requirements that you have to kind of meet to be able to be a coach at a national championships, right?
I think they always had them, but they kind of made sure that he was able to get accredited because it was for her.
Because it was
Right.
Michelle. Okay.
Yeah, that still comes up every once in a while. Like one time, Benoit Richaud was with Knierim's at nationals, and he wasn't allowed to stand at the board. No, it's Skate America. He wasn't allowed to stand at the boards because he wasn't like a U.S. figure skating accredited person. So Mish Moyer stood there. And then it came up with Mirai in 2014. She wanted her ballet teacher to stand with her at the boards. And they were like, no. Yeah. And I think she had, who was it? I can't remember who it was, but she had a friend stand at the boards with her. Anyway, yeah, Danny Kwan got everything he needed. The U.S. figure skating made sure he had it. And I don't think it was like, I don't know. They made sure that he was there because that's who she wanted. But yeah, she gets off the ice and it's like everyone knows. And the marks take forever. They're not great, but she goes into first place because Sarah Hughes, who's winning the free skate, was fourth in the short program. And so Michelle like sees herself in first place, but she's not happy. Like you can just tell she's like putting on a smile, but like she feels like, just. And they lay it out very clearly on the NBC broadcast. Like Irina Slutskaya is skating last. She needs to, if she beats Michelle, but not Sarah wins. And it was funny because NBC like took this and ran with it. Like, what can we do to explain how Sarah's going to win because she could win? And it ended up being a good thing they did because she did. Yeah. And so Slutskaya skates fine, not great. Doesn't beat.
And if Slutskaya had beaten both of them, she would have won the whole thing.
Yes.
But either way, it was like Michelle's chances have slimmed significantly.
Yeah. I mean, Irina could have had a mistake and things would have just stayed the way they were, but they did it.
Right.
Yeah. So that was Michelle ended up with the bronze medal and Slutskaya was second and Sarah Hughes was first. Michelle did go to Worlds after this and skated a little better there and won the silver medal. With Scheherazade, but yeah.
Well, you were right.
That was the threat that Michelle made before we started recording.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, I mean, Scheherazade is like, part of one of the worst moments of Adam's life," and he goes, "What?
I'm so befuddled, and now I'm not."
Yeah. You know what? Your friend Meryl exorcised those demons from your brain by giving you a new Scheherazade.
That is true. Yes.
Okay. So a couple years later, 2004, a Russian skater Evgeny Plashenko skates a free skate to a variety of music put together by violinist Edvin Marton. And in this collection of music is a little bit of the theme from Scheherazade. And it's like a spindrift Scheherazade, just a little flavor. And he calls this program
hilarious.
He calls this program a tribute to Nijinsky, the great ballet dancer. And Scheherazade was a ballet russe performance.
Nijinsky was in it.
Yeah. So that's why we get a little Scheherazade. It's mostly Edvin Marton and this piece by Edvin Marton called Art on Ice and a couple other original Edvin Marton pieces. But Dick Button very much is like skating to Scheherazade. Like, no, he's not. But this program is just such bananas Plashenko skating. It's like a fun watch.
It's incredible.
Yeah, he opens with quad toe, triple toe, double loop. And he like barely touches the ice between these jumps. It's so like quick. And Dick Button says, Nijinsky would have been proud of that. Plashenko was competing at this Worlds with a meniscus tear, which he needed surgery for. And he was going to have surgery on it after Worlds, maybe, or maybe not. TBD. Yeah. Then he does another quad toe. And then he has this long like build up, like it's this I'm not going to sing it, but you'll know it when you hear it, the Edmond Martone piece. And then you hear this little whiff of the theme from Scheherazade. He does this magnificent triple axel, and then triple axel, half loop, triple flip, goofy little steps into this like wild straight line footwork, Plushenko-esque. And Dick says, look at the energy, look at the slash and turn vitality.
Okay. Wow. Dick was really feeling himself.
I know. He got into it. Really nice.
The thing is like, how can you not get into a good Plushenko skate? Like, come, like,
true.
Nobody loves Plushenko more than Plushenko.
Yeah.
And nobody, and that will like that.
It wins you over.
Oh my God. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is also like peak Plushenko mullet bowl cut. It's getting so long. This is how I always think of him. And shoulder pads. He loves a shoulder pad.
Yeah. Yeah.
He loves to disfigure his own body a little.
Gender affirming costuming.
Gender affirming care. Costuming.
Yeah. So then he did nice triple Lutz, triple sow, sets up his loop and takes a random fall on the takeoff edge, like out of nowhere on a curve out. And then he hops right back up. And Dick says, it's such a pain to do that. That's the best kind of fall to have because he bounced up so quickly and then got right back into it. So it's like, listen, who knows? It doesn't matter. So this is the last, 2004 was the last Worlds when we had 6.0s. So Plushenko, despite the fall, finishes the program strong, gets off the ice. He gets 4 6.0s for presentation.
Damn.
I mean,
because they're giving them out. Everybody's getting them.
Yeah.
And he won his third and final world title. Believe it or not, Plushenko did not win any world titles after 2004. This was the last one.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He withdrew from 2005 with a groin injury.
Wow.
And that was in Moscow. And then,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about another Russian program that happened the next year. Tatiana Topmianina and Maxim Marinin. And I talked a bit about them during Romeo and Juliet, but this season was very traumatic for them. They had their headbanger fall mid-ice at Skate America, where Topmianina was knocked unconscious on a fall from a lift. And then they had to go back to training. And it was really hard for Marinin because he had such like PTSD from this. Like he could not lift her. And he had to do a lot of like therapy and work with a sports psychologist to get back into being able to train and to lift and to do these elements. So they had a Scheherazade free skate this season, and it was a Lori Nickel program. And they went to Lori Nickel because they wanted a new look after winning their first world title the year before. And they were in 2 fantastically ugly costumes. They were all black with orange accents. And Topmianina's was like an open V in the front with flesh tone material and then like an orange bra. And it was like swirly orange. I don't know what was going on. Usually people are in like a kind of a ballet themed costume with like a 2-piece and it's like maybe blue or another color. But this was like, I don't know. There was a mariachi flavor to it, but like something else. It was not it. It was a Halloween combo. Anyway, yeah. So
we're back
at this Worlds, I found the ESPN did a long feature with them on how they had the fall impacted Max and how he had to do all this therapy. And he spoke pretty openly and eloquently about how much going through therapy helped him and how difficult it was for him to get back into lifting, which I thought was really nice of him to talk about that.
Is so nice.
But
these costumes are the ugliest costumes I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Wow. It looks like they've never seen Scheherazade, heard Scheherazade. It's like motorcycle chic.
Yeah.
There's fringe.
Wait, can you flash it up on
Can you show it to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is fringe.
Of course there's fringe.
And a 3/4 length sleeve.
I'm going to say something. It was like they are definitely offenders, but they were not the only offenders of the time to like having costumes that had no regard to like the music. This was like it was important that you didn't know what you were skating to.
They're also both like hot enough people to wear ugly things.
Yeah. Where it's like, it's Scheherazade and you're like, all right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
So this performance at Worlds, they were a little bit tight. This was not the freedom or the attack that we would see them win the Olympics with in the next season. But again, they'd been through like a traumatic couple of months and everybody's watching them like, can they do this? And they're competing in Moscow at Worlds. Like this team had some really stressful back-to-back years. Yeah. So they do nice 2 different sets of side-by-side triple jumps. Really funny pair of spiral sequence. I'm glad that we don't have these anymore. It was funny because I thought their spiral sequence was great in their next season. And this one is like, oh boy, this is a long element. She held on to their throw triple loop. They did that terrifying axel lasso lift again, incredibly carefully. I mean, like he's very, very careful. They finish strong with a strong throw triple sow. And then they have like, they end the program with circular step sequence that I felt was like a little hoppy and didn't really meet the climactic of the music. Because again, this music is so big and furious at the end and these cuts people are using. But they finish respectable, relatively clean, and they win their second world title. And this Worlds, Russia would have swept. They won 3 out of 4 world titles. They did not win the men's event because Plushenko withdrew after the short program with a groin injury. And a up-and-coming skater from Switzerland named Stéphane Lambiel won his first world title. And he did it with some out-of-this-world spinning. And this was an aha moment for figure skating when you realize, like, oh my God, you could get all this GOE on spins and it makes a difference. This is the first Worlds that was all like COP. So Russia won 3 out of 4 world titles here. And it really looked like going into the Olympics, they should be able to get 4 titles. It was not to be, but okay. There were no prominent Scheherazades in the Torino Olympic season that I want to talk about, but we got one the season after, and it was from Miki Ando. She had a Scheherazade
Leah Miller
short program. No, Nikolai Morozov.
Oh, that was Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah. No, this was her first season with Nikolai, and he gave her a Scheherazade short program. And this was a very like Scheherazade review. Like it was all the little clips of like all the most popular pieces from it in a short program. And yeah, Miki could really freaking jump. I hadn't watched her in a while. Triple Lutz triple loop to open. And really easy triple flip, huge double axel. She was pitched over in half in this program. I mean, skating bent forward, like all the way forward, like when you go into a chair position in Pilates. And that also took me back because I had forgotten quite how striking that was when you watch her. But she had a really big, powerful step sequence to end. Her arms were all over the place. Despite like clean short program in Tokyo at Worlds with a triple Lutz triple loop, she was only second in the short program here behind Yuna Kim doing Tango de Roxanne.
Well,
I mean, undeniable.
Unbeatable.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah. So
you got to pitch forward.
Miki won her first world title at this Worlds. She was second in both segments, but first overall.
An upgrade.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. A couple years later, the bronze medalist from that world championship had a Scheherazade free skate, and her name was Yuna Kim. And this is, I think, one of the all-time great Scheherazade performances. This was a David Wilson program. She had it in the 08-09 season. And he did some really amazing work for Yuna. There was something about the way she performed to this, the way she moved her arms that was so commanding, but also so her. Like she took the music and made it hers.
Yeah.
And I felt like we got from Yuna here what we thought we were going to get from Michelle Kwan. Like this was the ownership and the transformation that we thought that Scheherazade would bring out of her. So Yuna she gave a quote over the summer when they were working on the program. She said, "Though many skaters have used this music, I don't mind. I will make people think about me when they hear Scheherazade."
Ooh.
Damn.
I love that.
So,
and she was such a big like Michelle Kwan fan that like you can see in the packaging that this is like she was like obviously so inspired by Michelle Kwan that like the dress is very reminiscent of Michelle Kwan. It's very much like an homage to her, but like I agree with you that like she took it on and made it her own.
Yeah. So it was this really nice like violin version of the music. I wrote down in my notes her ice coverage in this program is unreal. Like 2 crossovers and she's across the ice. She opened with this huge triple flip, triple toe. She did this gorgeous work with her arms. Like David Wilson gave her these big, generous gestures that like gave her skating a lot of depth. And I think working with him every day, she really learned this musicality and this like presentation that just elevated her skating even more. She did an Ina Bauer into a double axel, which is what she put in instead of a triple loop. Because she wasn't competing loop anymore at this point. Triple Lutz, double toe, double loop, double axel, triple toe in the second half, triple Lutz, really nice spiral sequence. Her one mistake, she did like a downgraded double sow cow as her like one of her last jump. It was like loss of concentration moment. This was like annoying. a Yuna trademark. She never did a completely clean free skate except in Vancouver.
Wait, did I ever tell you that when we trained together, like she worked really hard. And I had only seen her do one program where she rotated everything. Like she would either pop one thing or fall on something. And she was like a, get up and finish a run through girl. Like she was, like I said, she worked like a dog.
Wow.
But in the time that I skated with her, which was like in the lead up to this world title and to the Olympic Games and a little bit after, she had only done one clean free skate in practice. A short program she'd do every day. But she had only done one clean, and it was like ugly clean. Like she somehow
fighting for it.
Yes. Yeah. And it was like, whoa. And she had never done it. Never, ever done
That's
it.
incredible. And then she did it
so scary too
in
and
Vancouver.
Then she did it so she looked
oh
like
please Ashley, you that's very you.
Please,
you'd be like, Ashley. I got it, I'm gonna go do a clean in competition.
Okay, that's true, but I'm also really working with other athletes at validating their realities beyond just mine. But you're right. I'd be like, what do you mean you can do this? You're fine.
Hey Ashley, does your reality have global warming, or is it just mine that doesn't?
Mine does.
Yeah. And I felt like the straight line footwork in this, you really like could see her expression and all the progress she'd made. Like she takes you on a whole journey in the steps with her facial expressions. I mean, there's like different moments in the step sequence where you see her expressing different things. And there's a part where she's smiling and then she just sort of changes into something else. And it was just a master class. Really, really great. The music felt hers, like the way she performed to it, the program construction, the variety of expressions, the way she moved her upper body, like it all felt really authentic and like authentically Yuna. And she won her first world title with this performance. And Brian Orser, her coach, said it gave her a lot of confidence heading into the Olympic season. It was really important to her that she had that. She was the world champion going into the Olympics. So it was kind of funny. This world, she was skating to Scheherazade, and Evan Lysacek was skating to Adam.
Rhapsody in Blue?
Yeah. And then they would switch the next season. He skated to Scheherazade for his Olympic free skate, and she would skate to Rhapsody in Blue for her Olympic free skate.
I don't think it was Rhapsody in Blue, but it was Gershwin.
Composer. Gershwin. It was Gershwin. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They're both okay. Gershwin. So
Not
Evan
me correcting Michelle. I know. So.
Yeah, you're right. It was Gershwin. I couldn't remember his name there for a second.
A nerd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm
the next
happy
Olympic
for
season.
you.
Thank you. At least in the reality, I might not have global warming, but I do have facts
about you, not Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gershwin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I didn't have that in my notes, and I was saying it off the cuff, and like the name escaped me.
No, Michelle, don't apologize, please.
No, I'm pulling it up. Yeah. So, oh my God, Yuna Kim's Wikipedia page is so long. I could like scroll for an hour. I'm like not to her programs.
Yeah, he was
Concerto and F
in Paris.
Yeah, he was American Paris. She was Concerto and F, but it was all Gershwin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Correction. Okay. 2010 Olympics. We're in Vancouver. Evan Lysacek was second in the short program, skating to Firebird behind Plushenko. And he has a Scheherazade free skate choreographed by Lori Nickel. And similar cut to what she gave Tomiana and Marinin. It's sort of got like excitement at the beginning, and then kind of a slower section in the middle that grows and grows. And then it's like explosions at the end. Evan is in a skin-tight black costume covering his entire body with big 3D silver snakes around it.
Yes.
Vera Wang.
I see this costume so perfectly.
I loved it.
I did too.
Yeah. I remember I saw
camp.
like when it like Japanese fan art where the snakes had come off and were biting his earlobes.
A little nibble.
Yeah.
Wait, also Firebird and Scheherazade is like an interesting combo. I mean, it's just like using
Frank
two
Carroll combo.
Yeah.
Very.
There's a lot
So
of pressure and
Firebird
history that comes with both.
Yeah, Firebird was the music Linda Fradiani had for her short program that didn't win. And then Scheherazade was the music Michelle had for her Olympic season, where she fired Frank Carroll and then didn't win. So I felt like there was a lot of meeting.
Frank's revenge.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of felt like a little
He's
bit.
taking control of the narrative.
Yeah. I have a lot of feelings about Evan winning this Olympics, but I'm always happy that Frank got an Olympic champion.
Yeah.
Who do you think do you think Plushenko should have won?
I mean, probably, but like his free skate wasn't great.
Oh my God, Michelle.
I'm still upset. I'm still upset that Jeremy Abbott like completely lost his mind in practice this year. Because for me, it should have been Jeremy.
Oh my God, if Jeremy skated the way he did at Nationals,
easily.
That 2010 Nationals, Jeremy's free skate is like, oh my God, come on.
Yeah. I'm also kind of annoyed with Lambiel for not skating better as well. Just still didn't have his triple axel figured out. I was just like, come on, you guys. The men's event at the Olympics is always a shit show.
True.
Except when Yuzu is there. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Never mind. Even when Yuzu is there.
2018 was the best men's Olympic event.
Yeah.
In like the whole 21st century, I feel like.
Yeah.
I just feel that like
disaster.
Yeah, like
everyone skated well for the most part.
I feel like, and with the system at that
Other
time,
than still the Nathan of it all.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I feel like at the system at that time, it had like, it was so new and people were still so nervous. And by 06, and then 10 was like, still totally refining of like what's rewarded, what's not. 14 trying to get the quads back in there. And then by 18, it was like you had, skaters doing like they were staying in their own lanes of like, what am I good at? And then I think that it just like it was yeah.
So Evan had a terrible warm-up. He was really tight. We were all like, uh-oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know what? He was like so trained. Scott said he was the hardest working, best conditioned athlete in this competition. He went out and he went on autopilot and did this program like as clean as Evan could do it. He did no quad. He did 2 triple axels. One of them was a little bit tight. They're both a little bit pre-rotated, but no problem. Positive GOE, full credit. And this is like the warhorse edit, big, powerful edit. He had this very distinctive opening pose, bending backward and stretching his arms like parallel to the ice. I felt in the arena that this was a little bit plodding. Like he was so focused on going clean that there wasn't a lot of expression in it. But our booth was on the concourse. So we were at concourse level. And then Scott and Sandra said similar things. I talked to Christy Yamaguchi afterward, and she said she was much closer, and she felt like there was this big like explosion of power at the end in his straight line steps. And I kind of felt that more watching though I found like the world feed broadcast that was like close up on him, I could feel it more. But he was not expressing to the rafters, but he was expressing to the judges. So, and to Chris.
Yeah.
To where it really counted.
You know, yeah. You saw some life in his straight line steps at the end. And Sandra Bezic said that was not an easy performance for him. He had to think through every moment, and he relied on all that training. He did it. He had such a free short program, but this one, he worked. But it was enough. He was able to win the free skate and narrowly defeated Plushenko to win gold by 1.31 points. And he was backstage with Lori Nickel and Frank Carroll when he found out. And the scenes are beautiful. He's so happy. They're so happy. Frank is so, and it's like they're immediately like, you won. Oh my God, Frank, you have an Olympic champion. That was really special. Okay. Just want to quick hits through a couple other ones that happened in this cycle. Don Zhang and Hao Zhang had a Scheherazade free skate at this Olympics choreographed by Marina Zueva. The music skate at this program. This is a tough watch. I don't think I've seen it since I saw it live. The program needed more character than they were willing or able to provide. And another Chinese team, Qing Pong and Jian Tong, skated it 2 years later at 2012 Worlds. Lori Nickel program. I think they did a lot better with the expressions and trying to have engagement with the audience and bring the characters out. But they really struggled at Worlds that year and were fourth. Mao Asada had a Tatiana Tarasova Scheherazade short program that was mentioned on the Wikipedia page. I really liked this program on her, and it was an interesting Scheherazade because it had a little bit different version of the music. It was sort of a lighter, kind of jangly version of it that I felt was very Mao. Mao had a really rough season this year. Her mom passed away during the Grand Prix final. She wasn't able to reach her. She died while Mao was flying home. Mao kept competing. She went to nationals. She went to 4 continents where Ashley beat her. Then she came to Worlds. And
oh my God, now I'm feeling horrible.
Whoa, Michelle, you put that on Ashley.
She had a rough skate of this program. Triple axel downgrade fall. Triple flip, double loop, triple loop. It's just the step sequence was a very slow Scheherazade step sequence. I thought was unique. I liked this program on her. I liked the little cymbal sounds, and I thought it was interesting. But it was kind of Michelle Kwan reminiscent in the movement. It was distinctive, but she was not having the best time at the time. And she finished 6th overall at this Worlds and considered retiring after this season. She just had a lot of time reworking her technique. She had gone through losing her mom. She was going through it. So she spent some time with Lori Nickel in May, and Lori reignited her competitive spirit. She decided to continue. And then in the Olympic season, Carolina Kostner, for a quick little minute, had a Scheherazade free skate. And that was also a Lori Nickel program. She ditched it before Europeans. She did it on the Grand Prix.
I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, it was okay. I thought her arm movement was beautiful, and I thought that part worked, but I also felt like she was sort of rushing to keep up with the music. It just wasn't as patient as Bolero, and I feel like Caroline is a patient skater.
Yeah.
Comfort zone. Okay. Let's get to the big one.
Yeah.
2014 Olympics, Meryl Davis and Charlie White, Scheherazade. And I want to say this maybe is the best interpretation of this on the ice ever, just in the preparation, packaging, details, nuance, and the performance they gave to it. The thunderous power of the performance. I feel like they may be the only ones that really skated up to this music. So this program was choreographed by Marina Zueva. The team had this program for almost 6 years in their mind as what would be their Olympic performance in Sochi.
Really?
Yeah. They always had it in their mind, and they just saved it for when they were ready for it. Zueva was planning the music edits and visualizing the lifts for 2 years before this. This was her master choreography. She was working on this for years. And you're thinking, what about the other team she was supposed to be choreographing for her during this time? We will get there.
She wasn't thinking about their lifts.
She wasn't. No. Yeah. And the team had this curve lift that was basically just arms. It was legs free entrance into this curve lift where Meryl is like completely blind, just being pulled by her arms by Charlie and jumping, that they were working on for 3 years. And the team, they used this. They felt like they were at a point where they could finally do this piece justice. So they had a pretty good Olympics. They were first in both sections of the team event. They won the bronze medal with Team USA. They won the rhythm dance. Controversially, they won it. And they skated last in first place in the free dance. They had 2 different versions of their costumes for this. They wore the blue for the team event and then the purple for the individual event. And I did ask Meryl's mom about that and why. And she told me that Meryl's blue costume pulled on her neck. So she wore the comfortable one for the individual event.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So the blue one
sense.
is like a crisscross halter neck situation.
Yeah.
And the purple is more of just like a circle cut. And it's like insinuated that there's a crisscross.
Yeah. It's like I want my neck free when I'm being flown
dragged around by it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
I thought that was so chic to have when you skate the same program to have 2 different costumes. That's why I literally did that because at my Olympics because of Meryl and Charlie. I was like, that's chic. You need 2
I mean,
different
I agree.
costumes.
It is chic.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I hate this reflection, but it's just like, look at that position.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So Charlie was portraying the like jealous sultan who is vowed to execute his wife, and then Meryl is Scheherazade. And they got really into this story. And they also worked with a Middle Eastern dancer to perfect the subtleties of Persian dance and storytelling. Her name was Kendra Ray, and she performs at Arab American events throughout Michigan. And she visited their home rink in Canton and helped them highlight specific movements, emphasizing hand motions, hip undulations, and facial expressions. And I felt like the magic in this program is all in their upper bodies, like her nuanced arm movements and facial expressions. And then Charlie has this like furious expression and his like flying hair.
He looks wild.
Yeah. Like he's gonna murder his new bride.
Like he's gonna murder her.
Yeah.
I need a new virgin in the morning.
Yeah.
I felt like this was a good character for Charlie because he wasn't the most like expressive skater, but he could do this like thunderous kind of rage and wildness. So their opening curve lift, extraordinary entrance. She's in a shoot the duck, hands free. He's holding her hands and he pulls her out of the shoot the duck onto his back in a curve lift. And she sort of has this moving position. It's crazy. It's like, how are you coming up? This is crazy. They have this like stunning combination lift where he holds her completely straight upside down. She's vertical to the ice with her legs crossed and then transitions down and she's in a split position into a rotational lift. Cool. And they really capitalized on their like speed and their power in all these lifts and just the like edit of this program. It was so like exciting. And then adding the like sort of nuance of her doing the storytelling and the engagement was really just magic. It was money. And then in the slower section in the kind of the middle, you see her like weaving the stories and taking him along on adventures with her. Big climax at the end was really their signature, and they did it like really, really powerfully here. They have their big diagonal steps to the charging music at the end. It's like furious rotational lift to finish. And then this curve lift with her leg hooked around his neck where she is bent backwards over the ice, like looking out into the arena, which Ashley just showed us a picture of. Really, really effective. And this program and their athletic performance of it over and over again, they could just do it every time. So clean. They could just hit every time. And I really think that, if you look at the upper bodies and the speed and the power, it's like you get carried away by it. Where this team received some criticism was on their lower body work. Their kind of weak free legs, unmatched feet, their like edge quality itself, like there wasn't a ton of flow like through their edges and their movement. They had overall speed and power and attack, but it's like in their footwork wasn't the glide. It sort of distinguishes it. And it kind of felt like a mass kind of psychosis at the time. You could not criticize this. You couldn't criticize them at all. Everyone was like, no, they're the best. They're incredible. And I mean, I kind of felt like
psychosis.
Yeah. Like I could not talk about this critically at all with anybody other than like the CBC commentators. Like no one wanted to hear it. They were just like, come on, Michelle, just,
well, because they were like performing better than everyone. Right.
Yes.
And so it was like that was overshadowing everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like today, like 10 years later, 12 years later, there's more dialogue around it. But in the moment when you'd see them perform, it's like nobody cared because they were such powerful performers.
Yeah.
They were in a big rivalry with their training mates, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, this quad, this Olympics. And there was a big story at this Olympics about like L'Equipe, the French newspaper, published this article about like vote trading that was happening at these Olympics. And the story came out before the skating events even started. And the alleged like trading was that Russia would help US win dance. And in exchange, the US would help Russia win the team event. And this was very, very discussed. And then it actually like happened that Russia won the team event and the US won dance. And it's kind of like, was that controversial? Was it just controversial because it was in this story? I feel like people in general were fine with those two results. But then it's like it was published that was going to happen. So then it's like, well, I don't know.
It casts doubt on the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Canadian team, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, were not happy with their placement in the dance event. They weren't happy with the way they were scored. And there was a thought that they were really underscored in the rhythm dance. And I really, unfortunately, have to pause for a second and let my contractor in. And I'll be right back.
Contractors. Am I right?
I can't wait to watch all these programs.
I know. I want to watch the John Curry one first.
Oh,
I think that's the first one I want to see.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's one of the definitives, she said. So
he was unlike literally anyone. Like it's just crazy. When I think of like the people who have hit the best positions in skating, I think of John Curry, and the only other person I could think of is like Oksana Bayul. Like just the positions, but his skating was so much smoother than hers too. Like it was just unbelievable.
Hey. Yeah. So I really felt like at the time you could see that Davis and White's program was just this absolute triumph of planning, packaging, athleticism. And it was like by far their greatest piece of skating and some of Zueva's best work. Meanwhile, their competition, Virtue and Moyer, like couldn't decide on a free dance theme, were making changes up until the day of the competition. And so then it was kind of pointed to Zueva as like, why'd you do all this work for Marilyn Charlie and you didn't really do it for Tessa and Scott? But that's the drama at the time. Still going on, honestly, on Twitter. But I think
this is going to unleash a new wave of it.
A new discussion. Marketing of ideas.
I want to credit you, Michelle, because I feel like you've provided a really balanced and fair description, praising Marilyn Charlie, but also saying using your critical thinking skills. So there we go, guys.
You've presented it in a balanced way, I think.
Feels fair.
Yeah, they are going to murder me, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, and they don't know that you're on their side.
Oh, I mean, I really felt in the moment, like, because there were always like conspiracy theories throughout this quad that like U.S. figure skating and Russia and Marina Zueva, they're conspiring to bring Tessa and Scott down so that Marilyn Charlie can win. Like, this is whole like, okay. But then in the building after the rhythm dance, when Tessa and Scott got their score, and then Marilyn Charlie beat them after Tessa and Scott did probably the best short dance I've ever seen. I think that anyone's ever skated, and that they didn't win it and they were behind. I was like, oh God, it's true. It's true.
You pull out your own copy of the French article.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God. But I think in the end, I felt okay with the result because I really felt Tessa and Scott's free dance was not as fully formed. It wasn't as, and the like furious like performance Meryl and Charlie had of this program, and to do it so many times and to do it like the best they'd ever done it, and having it always been so great and to do it so well at that event, it's like they were like machines. It was unbelievable. It really blew you back in your seat with the power. And it's like maybe they had weaknesses. Every team has some weaknesses. Unfortunately, it just came together for them that way, and it didn't come together for their competition. Anyway, just got a couple more Scheherazades to mention. One of them happened at 2016 Worlds by Anna Pogorelaya.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she had a program choreographed by Nikolai Morozov. Anna Pogorelaya really burst onto the scene after the 2014 Olympics. And she was someone who was known for absolutely insane wild falls all the time that we talk about all the time. But when she skated well, she was quite good. Very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
And this was a good skate for her, too.
Something she just snapped into it at this competition, and she did 2 clean programs. So for this program, this was choreographed by Nikolai Morozov. She had a blue dress with like a long skirt and like a blue kind of bandage bikini top. And then it had these pink strips with like jeweled embroidery on it. It was very opulent. Like, I've been chosen to marry the king and I get to wear the jewelry for 24 hours. Or 12.
I know what this costume looks like, and now I need to go back.
I felt like she had a very intense persona on the ice, and the furious like power of this music. It really like kind of matched her personality, like the intensity of it. But that said, I didn't feel like she brought any softness to this. Like, I felt like she was more of the Sultan than Scheherazade.
I was gonna say, I was like, she's the one who's like off with their head.
This costume is a perfect example of like when Coco Chanel, not Coco Chanel, because of Coco Chanel. It's like when you're leaving the house, take one thing off. Anna said no.
She for
put
everything
it all on.
For everything that you would take off, she put on.
God, she was amazing.
This was really triumphant for her too.
I
remember we were covering this and we were all sort of taking, before the women's free skate, we were in our production meeting all sort of guessing who would be on the podium. And one of the members of our team,
was it Pierre?
Was, not to dox anyone on here, but somebody who works with us was like, I think Pogo is gonna do it. And I remember us all being like, no,
impossible.
Like, that's not gonna, no, like, it's not gonna happen. We just like did not believe that she would go clean. And
you're like, of the things that are going to happen, that's not an option.
I mean, he was right.
You can hear it in the commentary. Tara and Johnny's disbelief as she is skating this. She did triple lutz, triple toe, triple loop, half loop, triple sow, triple lutz. She had this section where she was moving her arms like she was storytelling, but she did it really fast, like it was a chore. So she's trying to get rid of it to like go on to the next jump.
I love it.
Double axel, triple loop, double toe, double axel, triple flip, clean. And Tara and Johnny, with each successive jump, they are like cheesing. They're like, they cannot believe it. She's skating so well. And Tara pointed out how she wasn't rushing the takeoffs, which is something she tended to do. And then it translated to more secure jumping. Another highlight of Anna at this competition was her absolute stone face in the kiss and cry. So I think she was second. She was second in the short program. She was behind Gracie, ahead of Veg. And no joy, just stone face. She does this like really clean free skate, gets in the kiss and cry, gets amazing scores, and is just so stoic, just like glaring, like. And Tara's like, she wants to win. So, this is one of her best performances, I think, in competition. She won the bronze medal behind Medvedeva and Ashley. And she said later that in an interview that she thought she should have been second, but because we were in America.
Oh my God, girl.
Did she really say that? What a bitch.
Yeah,
I love that.
She did.
I know. I love it. Yeah.
Listen, I fear that woman with my life. She would kill me.
Yeah.
I mean, if she
But-
showed up at your door right now and be like, give me the medal, you'd be like, hang on, I'll just get it right now. Here you go.
I'd say, go land more jumps, babe. But no,
Yeah.
this was such, I know that this was such a good skate for her because every couple of years I have like Russians tweeting at me being like, you don't deserve the silver. And so finally I was like, I should probably see like what they're talking about. And it was great.
You were backstage listening. And
I
you
was
didn't
listening,
hear
but
any
I think
screams of pain or horror.
No, it's true.
At least
That's
during her
true. performance. Yeah, the air was sucked out of the arena for another, but like for that, but the audience loved it too. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a nice moment for Pogo. I wish she could have carried that on another couple seasons, but
Alas.
So the last amateur performance I want to talk about is about one of our favorite skaters of all time, and her name is Wakaba Higuchi. And Massimo Scali gave her a Scheherazade free skate for her first senior international season. She was 16 years old. She was making her debut at Worlds, and she was in this gorgeous orange and gold costume. It was like a two-piece in orange with gold accents. Tasteful, gorgeous, beautiful. She looked expensive, and she had a gold headband on. It was very Aiza Mambiekova. It was gorgeous.
Hail the queen.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah. And Massimo found like a kind of unique version of this music. It was less thunderous, and it was a little more like, there were like more little details that Wakaba was able to kind of play with. She opened with this gorgeous triple Lutz, triple toe, huge. Turned out over triple loop. She had a great circle step sequence, and she had so much like power in her expression. Huge double axel. And then the second half of the program sort of came apart a little bit. She made some jump errors. She fell on her triple axel double toe. She threw a triple toe on the double axel because she left off her Lutz that she doubled earlier in the program. And so even though she struggled on jumps here, I felt like there were like shades of like what a powerhouse she would become. It's like a good early Wakaba viewing. And she would have her breakthrough in the next season, as we will talk about in the next lore horse episode. Wakaba was 11th at this Worlds, but she would be second at the next one.
Her career is so wild.
And unless I'm missing something, I'm pretty sure that's the last high profile competitive Scheherazade we've seen. 2017. However,
we need someone to put their brave face on.
Who do you want to skate to Scheherazade
back?
I could see a good
Hendricks.
Isabeau,
You know who could do it?
Yeah.
Emilia Zingis and Vadim.
Oh my God.
Yes. Oh my God.
Could skate the speed.
Yeah.
They could do the speed like
They
what we're talking
really
about,
do.
Meryl and Charlie. Like, make that comparison all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's probably their Olympic program for 2030.
I would not.
I bet they have
be
things
mad.
planned out through there, as they should.
Yeah.
As every
I would not be
responsible
mad.
team should.
Does. But maybe our friend Tatiana Navka was thinking the same thing to herself. No one has skated to Scheherazade in a while. Tatiana Navka produced
Our friend
in
the Panama Papers,
Our
high-ranking Russian government official,
our warlord.
friend.
Yeah.
God.
Our
My
Sultan.
liege.
She produces ice shows. She's like got this big empire now where she has her own skating school and she has her own production company. And she produced in 2024 a huge production of Scheherazade on ice. And it was just a big production in Russia. She had Victoria Sinitsina playing Scheherazade, and Nikita Katsalapov was playing Shahryar, which I guess is the Sultan.
That's the king. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
And then Aladdin was in it, portrayed by Ivan Regini. So I'm guessing there were some of the stories in there as well.
No faithfulness to the original Arabic text.
No,
as we know, Aladdin wasn't in it.
And Navka was in it. I don't know what character she was playing, but I saw her skating this big like group number where she was like in the middle and everyone was performing kind of around her. I couldn't find details on like who all the characters were.
There's so many possible like stories in the text.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
But she produced it and performed in it. And this was such a success, they took it to India and they performed it in Ahmedabad, India, with the whole cast and everything. And I found like a 20-minute video someone in the audience took and edited together of all different segments from the performance. It was very like Disney on Ice. Like there's like dialogue playing and people sort of skating around to it, like they're talking to each other. But then there's also scenes where there's like Navka's number. It's like very Middle Eastern themed Russian music, like with Russian vocals, where they're like performing to the music.
Right.
It was cool. She had this big golden hat on that she was dancing in. And yeah. So, you know, we didn't get to see Scheherazade on Ice stateside, but there are clips on YouTube to enjoy.
Sure, they're working on it.
Yeah.
I would actually I'd be fascinated to see one of those shows because
Me too.
if it was like, I would love for it to be a production with like a lot of performing and, you know, less focus on the jumping. I am curious how much it's focused on the jumping because like all those high level skaters, it would be so cool. I'm sure they have to put in so much time to produce something like that. I bet it's really cool.
Yeah. They had like a whole dragon on the ice for the one Camila did recently. And then they had...
It was like for Scheherazade?
No. There's a story about a dragon.
I don't know if that was in the Arabian
it's Mulan on Ice, actually.
The one Camila did recently. And Navka and Peter Cheryshev often perform in these. And in the recent one, they were suspended from the ceiling like Pink on like cables with skates on, flying around. Yeah, they got a budget. They got a lot of government grants.
They got
that.
They got big old budget.
Oligarchy coin.
Yeah,
I appreciate the innovation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, thank you, Michelle.
Incredible
Thank you,
work.
Sarah, great work.
Ooh,
I
we
love
have so
this
many
music.
good things to watch.
I'm looking for an orchestral performance that I can go to. That's what I need to do next.
Ooh.
Now that Ashley and I have seen Swan Lake.
Yeah, now we're patrons of the arts.
Exactly.
Back in the day, before the Iron Wall had come back down, Bolshoi and Mariinsky used to come to New York pretty frequently, and they often would do Scheherazade.
God damn it.
I remember there was a big tour. I think the Bolshoi did it at City Center, which was controversial because that's not a good venue for dance because the sight lines are bad. Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
I am always saying that.
Sight lines.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We are always saying that.
My God.
All right, everybody. Well, if you've made it this far, we do have a playlist with all of the programs, competitive and show, that's going to be linked. So go check that out. Thank you so much, Michelle, for curating that for us. And what a great listen. Hope you all enjoyed. And we will talk to you next week for our next lore horse.
Or if you're on the Patreon, we'll talk to you probably sooner than that.
Yeah. True.
So long, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.